Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome into NFT Live. We got ourselves a fantastic episode and a great topic today. Top 10 biggest flops in NFT history. We're about to hit it. We are just starting today on this Tuesday. I got gifted. No hoodies today, and also no cowboy hats. I'm sorry, Prodigy. I know you were asking for the cowboy hat energy. We will still bring the cowboy hat energy, just no cowboy hats. Gifted. Chungos. How we doing, my brother?
Am I muted?
That is a fair question. That is a fair question to be asking. No, you're not muted. You're fine, sir. Let's hear that voice.
Well, good. Then I can say confidently, Chungo, 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 Chungo. Let's go. All right, that's it.
We're glad we got that out early. Guys, we have, again, a full episode of full topics to get to. Disney's axing the Metaverse. Legends of Mara. Gif, I don't even know if you saw this. Did you see the Legends of Mara update from the other side?
No.
This will not turn into the Yugo Live show, I promise, until we get to the Legends of Mara topic.
I saw Gucci.
Full 2D game. Full 2D game. That's what the Legends of Mara is. We're getting Otherside drops and all that stuff.
All right.
Okay. But more importantly,
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up on the show. I didn't know if we wanted to talk about it here on NFT Live. But more importantly, the Camel's top 10 fast food restaurants. This is what spawned today's topic, by the way. I woke up, saw Camel's tweet. There were two. I'm not even going to mention his favorite food marketplaces because Harris Teeter wasn't involved. But top 10 fast food restaurants. Raising Cane's in at number 1.
What is this? Wait, what is this Harris Teeter? What are you? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, y'all are both on the same wavelength. I get that. Raising Cane's in at number 1. Okay, so a Harris Teeter. A Harris Teeter is like a Kroger. It's like a beefed up Kroger. Okay, you know what a Kroger is? Okay, so if you know what a Kroger is,
I'm from Texas.
Okay, so that's what it is. Harris Teeter. I think Harris Teeter even owns Kroger. So Harris Teeter is like the bougie Kroger. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, 3 Taco Bell, 4. I don't even know what Pals is. 5 Chick-fil-A, absolutely getting walloped here in the rankings as Chick-fil-A. 6 Cookout, which you haven't heard of, which is an amazing spot. I feel like we have like an East-West issue here on our food preferences. Subway, shockingly coming in at 7. 8 McDonald's, 9 Five Guys, and 10 In-N-Out. And this is the alpha that you're here for on an NFT Live. I know it. Are you mute
Absolutely.
today?
This is why I'm not sure if we have like a syncing issue because your video is like totally like glitched out on my, so it might be a restream issue, but we're here. I might want to hop out and hop back in though.
Let me see
here in like a minute. But no, this is an excellent conversation. Like as long as you can hear and see me, right? Like it's all good. Maybe not.
Yeah, I just looked at the video. It doesn't look that bad. So I don't think the issues on my end.
As long as you can hear it. Yeah, if you can hear me and see me, then we're all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an important conversation, right? This is key. This is very important.
Good stuff.
And I have to say my top 3 are Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell in that order. Those are the best 3. And honestly, after that, it's all just kind of a mess.
Also a varied list, right? Like that Taco Bell obviously does what Taco Bell does. Sometimes you just need T-Bell. Like that's not up for debate. Chick-fil-A being in the top 3 is definitely important. And what do you say? You said Whataburger? I put Whataburger in my top 10, not necessarily my top 10.
That's the number 1. Dude, well, nothing, as far as fast food goes, nothing competes with Whataburger. The craziest shit I've ever heard in my entire life is people trying to say that In-N-Out's better than Whataburger. Like,
I think I said that.
Out of your mind? Like, your taste buds don't work. Like, it's not even like your stomach is also weird because that's like after you eat In-N-Out, you feel like weird. Trash because it is trash. Yeah, okay, bro. Like if you can digest that normally, like Look, and I like In and Out. I think it's fine.
Got this man
but
on
it
a
is
rant.
so middle of the road. Like, it is so middle of the road. Like, Whataburger's delicious and amazing. In and Out is literally just middle of the road.
Okay, so fantastic comments coming through. Hey, Gif, while I touch on this chat, why don't you hop in and hop back out and see if that fixes the syncing issue if it's still there.
All right.
I got
I'll
Prodigy. Okay, so again, this top 10 restaurant list spawned the topic for today, which is going to be the top 10 biggest NFT flops in history. I have none of this synced up, right? Like we're going to go through this together. So we got rate my flops. We're going to rate it 1 out of 10. I know we're using S, A, B, C, and D, but we will just do it by a top 10 list. So top 10 biggest flops in NFT history. Make sure you have your thinking caps on. I need some topics for today as well, as far as like people, ones to throw in here. It can't just be me and Gift thinking about all of the biggest flops, because while we can put our brains together, we need a little bit more IQ as well. So Bitcoin cryptocurrency, nice name there, is kind of coming out the gate hot, saying OpenSea, cute, cool, and creepy, Reddit collectible avatars. So I don't know if that's I think he's throwing the Reddit collectible avatars in the mix there with maybe he's shilling a collection. I can't tell what's happening here. So break that down. Cam Taylor, we see you. GM Sir Billy is saying I see you, and Prodigy saying yo, Camel's list is dog shit. So
yeah, I mean he does have Subway on there. I mean we should maybe touch briefly as a quick hit on the Neon Cats Reddit collab, because that's a pretty cool story. Apparently, PR guitar man Chris himself, shout out to him, has been creating art on Reddit for like 11 years. So it's pretty cool to, get to be a collaborator now on their avatars.
Okay. Yeah, I think I pulled that up yesterday. Let's talk on that again, because I don't know if you have any further information, but let me get the Neon Cat stuff together. We're going to hit on quick hits, NFT Go Bagcheck, of course, and then our big topic for today is going to be the top 10 biggest flops again. I think we're going to hit Legends of Mara before that, though. I think we're going to do the rate my flops or the top 10 flops at the end of the episode. I think that has been the best case, because those can get heated. We can get it down a rabbit hole quick. An hour gone past, we don't even know.
That's the rest of my day. There goes the afternoon right there.
Okay, let's see. All I have are like tweets here.
Also, so, I love that you always surprise me with it too. It's never like, hey, tomorrow we're gonna do a rate my bag segment, 100%. So just beware. It's always like I'm in the middle of GM Web3, and then he posts up at the top the link to NFT Live, and it's like rate my bags. I'm like, well, there goes the next couple hours. If I thought I was only streaming for 4 hours a day, I was mistaken.
No, you're going for 5. No, we'll keep today's episode short, Jacob. Again, shout out to you guys that are in the chat here. We'll get to this Neon Cat announcement from PR Guitar Man. So again, if you're here for the first time, this is going to be NFT Live. We're here every single day except Fridays on NFT Live, covering the Web3 industry, covering the latest. We're here at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we appreciate you guys joining us. Definitely hit the like button. This is also not financial advice, so do not take any of the information that we hear out from, talk about, hear from this single point, talk about, use as financial advice. So
did you just have a stroke? I
did. We have a stroke.
Are we stroking out?
Not as bad as completely muting myself for the first 5 minutes of the show. That's is it which one's worse?
Look, 2 things. First, I had the greatest monologue of any morning show of all time. Like any Twitter space, any morning show for that matter, on any medium, happened this morning on GM Web3, and I was muted. It's a travesty. It's an actual tragedy that Folks, nobody
text this guy.
Nobody will ever hear. Yes, thank you for texting me and notifying me that I was completely muted. But no, it is a tragedy that nobody will ever get to hear the amazing opening monologue from this morning's GM Web3. Just know it was the best ever. And then secondly, as Nifty Q was saying, this is not financial advice, and information was found publicly on the internet. Opinions shared on this episode are solely of the Web3 team. All information is public domain, so please do your own research.
Okay, and with that, we will get into the quick hits. One quick hits that is not on our dashboard right now is the Utes move to Polygon. I know that was a big topic yesterday. That was literally like the topic of conversation. We covered it on the GM Web3 morning show this morning. I don't know if we have any follow-ups there, but that migration is seemingly going pretty well. Like we're not hearing about anyone like losing a ute or sending it to the wrong address. I think what they're doing with Wormhole Crypto has been working. Now, some people will be like keeping their ute on Solana. That's another thing. That's a topic of conversation, I think, for another day.
The maths wasn't adding up though. Like there's about 1,000 that are missing right now. So I don't know how long the transition, the like minting, burning and minting process takes, but right now there's about 1,000 missing if you add up the total supply on like Ethereum and Solana.
So this was gonna be my topic that I was gonna bring up on GM Web3 before Sarah like got into the figurehead and founder conversation, which was freaking awesome. But the visualizations in the metaverse is fascinating to me. How we're like Wormhole Crypto literally used trains to talk about these assets moving from one blockchain to the other. It's like, why do you need trains in a metaverse? It's like really interesting to me. The topic Biggie brought up of like, oh, hey, we don't actually need cars in the metaverse. Why do we need houses like on a street? Like this is not something that we need to bring into the metaverse. Physical. What's up?
You answered that question already for yourself with your initial reaction that it's like hitting all of your sweet spots. It's communication.
No, I like it.
You have to have you have to have relatable, easy to understand concepts.
I think for marketing, you're right. For marketing, you're right. What I'm trying to say in the what I'm trying to get to is like what we do in the metaverse that doesn't look like our reality. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm interested in when it comes to these assets. Like, yes, for marketing, it's dope to like think about, oh my God, those DeGods are all, kind of taking a train to Bitcoin or whatever. But how the metaverse looks in the future, like why do we need cars? We don't. You can just float around. Like that should be the primary mode of education. You don't even need to fly around. You could fucking teleport everywhere. Like,
yeah, we're all just superheroes already. Right?
Okay, so we're clearly 10 feet deep into this rabbit hole already. Here is the link for today's episode. Again, we're going to be covering the top 10 flops in NFT history. Prodigy put out some good ones right off the bat. He said, is Toys R Us a flop? Jeffrey did not need to hear that. Mechaverse was a flop or no? So that's what we need from you guys. We're going to, the latter part of the episode is going to be, hey, what are these flops? And then we're going to put them into our handy dandy rate my bags, rate my flops section here, so we can do that together.
This is gonna hurt. I can already tell this is gonna hurt.
I'm hoping none of my bags make the cut, so we'll see. Anyways, that's the link. I just dropped it. Please leave a like, retweet. Xplow is saying you can burn your super yetis to get goblins from Futureverse. Why would they do such a thing?
That's blasphemy.
Why would you do that?
Yeah. Why would you ever burn a super yeti for anything else? Super Yetis are one of the most valuable future assets ever created. I don't think people fully understand yet exactly. They just don't. They just don't get it. Yeah, I would never burn any Yeti for anything else.
The long term, the super long term, I'm talking like 100-year timeline on Super Yetis looks excellent.
200 year. Don't even go there.
Oh, shit. Do we make it to 200 years with AI and all that stuff happening?
Well, I'm already a robot, so.
Okay, this episode has started fantastically. Nox Darkness is saying none of those places in Camel's top 10 you should actually eat at, which I'm actually agreeing with at this point. All right, quick hits. First quick hit that we have today. Disney had all of these plans to get into the metaverse. It looks like Disney's cutting metaverse plans and their unit amid company-wide layoffs. So this was about 30 to 40 individuals that are being cut from Disney here, along with 7,000 others from the Disney Corporation or Disney, in general. As a company, they're laying off 7,000 peeps. 50 people here. So it looks like Disney's metaverse plans are on hold. GIF, is this a no news or is this a news piece that kind of...
It's bear market news, right? Like all of the big tech companies have been going through layoffs right now. They're all under a lot of scrutiny. They're all trying to cut costs. This is it's just not a surprise. Like Meta has paused their whole Web3 initiative, NFTs and everything after a bunch of investment there. So, I think what you were saying too is this is part of a bigger layoff, right? So like one of the things that's just kind of like a rule of thumb that a lot of people that have ever worked corporate know is that when there's downsizing, the first to go, the first place that they look, first place on the chopping block is marketing. And then this is sort of like, I would assume in terms of corporate structure and organization, this is probably out there on like the digital marketing, innovation and like marketing side, or like digital media innovation. I don't know where they'd put it, but it'd be far out there on like the places of not critical roles right now.
Yeah.
So it's just not a surprise.
To the success of
Disney. Like, but they're going to be back. That's my take. Like all these companies, when the time's right, they'll keep reinvest or get back to what they were building, or come back with new utilities once the utility and the end user is better understood. So it sucks. But
reading from Decrypt here, the firm's Metaverse lead, Mike White, hired in February 2022. Awful time to be hired here. Actually, that's not the worst.
That's pretty much the worst.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
No, because by the time that you're onboarded, like it's like March, April. It takes at least like a month or two,
and then you're
onboard into a new job, and then it's just like
So by Disney's former chief executive, Bob Chapek, that could be another piece as well, right? If you're hired by the former regime, you're another one on the chopping block there. But Bob Chapek described the metaverse as the next great storytelling frontier. White reportedly said as well, they wanted to create an entirely new paradigm for how audiences experience and engage with our stories. Disney's metaverse strategy remained obscure for a year after the creation of the unit. The company hinted that the metaverse could play a role in fantasy sports, theme park attractions, and other consumer experiences. But it seemed to have never got off the ground, and now it's been completely halted. And halted is probably I'm probably using a positive term there.
Paused.
They're axing. Yeah.
It's just paused. Let's just use that.
Yeah. Dude, Disney's a great brand for all of these things to have happened. So in my opinion, again, when you see these like larger brand stories, it's kind of a nothing burger when it comes to like short term, like any type of action. But it definitely sucks to see like a brand like Disney's with that IP not make it successfully in their foray.
Yeah. Well, and every quarter, these human resources teams have new hiring and firing goals, right? So it's like they're going to change their perspective and their outlook based upon their quarterly earnings. So yeah, again, I think it's just the state of the current market. I think by this time next year, Disney will be well back on the train of trying to build out, metaverse experiences, if we even call it that at this point. And then I just want to say too, if you are ever working a corporate job and the person who hired you gets let go, you better start looking for another job, because that's like one of the first, that's like the top sign that you are next to go is when the person that hired you is gone. Like they just haven't told you yet, but you are redundant as far as they're concerned. That's a hard position to be in.
All right, so yeah. I'm following this story that Expo was talking about as well, where you can burn Super Yetis to get goblins. It looks like Fluff World did create a burn at Gods and Goblins. Let's take a look here. Gods and Goblins is an upcoming NFT collection and metaverse experience launching soon. NFTs from eligible collections can be burned in exchange for goblins. So do we have a full list here? Oh, okay.
I want everybody to go burn their Yetis so that they're deflationary and my Yetis just keep going up in value. That's what I want.
This is actually that cool kind of like flywheel though, because it's still part of, obviously, like it's transitioning into an NFT asset, but one Web3 project is being a little bit symbiotic with another when it comes to like helping it out, at least. Where is Super Yetis on this list?
It's on there on the first row under Baby Ape.
Carfaru. Super Yetis, yep.
Yeah, everybody, you should do this. Go burn your Yetis. Feed pics,
Yo, no. This actually might work out for you though. Don't burn the Yeti, but burn the feet pics for sure.
I already flipped my feet pics. I made
course you
bank
did.
on some feet pics, you know.
Yeah,
but
we know.
I wish
In more than one way.
Is dick pics on here? Because I would burn my dick pics at this point.
You need to burn those.
Yeah.
Regardless. Okay.
Can we burn some dick pics, please?
Nominate a collection for the junk list. Learn more about gods and God. Let's go. Okay. Oh shit. I'm actually kind of afraid here. Let me I don't know what is about to take place, but I want you guys to take the journey with me on audio. All right, here we go. Xbot, don't ever say we don't highlight your projects, my dude. Goblins of Evergrim. Okay. Look cool, like a little interact. Okay, now it's just haunting my dreams. I got to turn that off. Cool. Look, cool burning feature to be able to like burn other NFTs. I wonder how those projects were reached out to. I don't. Are Super Yetis involved in that?
They may or may not have been. That's a good question. I think it would be nice of them to reach out, but it might just be a nomination thing because obviously they're accepting like noms from the community, noms. I think it's interesting, like this in context. It would be good to check back in on what's going on with V like Burn Island, V Friends Burn Island, because I think that like
that was the concept. Yep.
I think that's the concept. It's like you burn other projects, burn different projects to get new utilities or new projects or things like that. I think it's a fascinating evolution of the burn mechanic and also kind of a collaborative thing, right? Assuming, again, that you're actually reaching out and like contacting and talking to these projects and not just saying, hey, go burn all your other whatever.
Destroy these projects.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a vampire attack. Like, what if Yuga?
Yeah.
Okay. What if Yuga? This is a great transition.
What if
Yuga created a project and was like, just follow me down for just a second. What if Yuga like was adversarial with a certain project and they created a separate project that said, hey, only people that burned, like a certain NFT could be a part of this project, or maybe you got some other incentive. Couldn't that be like some type of vampire attack?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny to me to even try and think of like who's even a Yuga competitor at this point. There's like not really any out there like who they want to, but yeah, like the Yuga show. I mean, let's say Cool Cats. Let's say for some reason they just really had it out for the Cool Cats, and they were like, "Yo, we are launching our new cores for these metaverse characters in the Otherside, and the way that you get one is you burn your Cool Cats." How many people right now would burn all their fucking Cool Cats?
Oh my god! And what if they like set up this really cool trailer and roadmap, and they were like, "Hell yeah, do this," and then they didn't do anything with it, so these people are now stuck with their whatever asset that they had to burn their Cool Cat. And then Cool Cats were like, if you want to come back, you can burn those and come back and be a Cool Cat.
They're basically just like, we hope you learned your lesson for not being loyal to your original IP holders, you piece of shit.
Wow. That's going to be the Netflix show that we can't wait to see. All right. Still in quick hits here. NFT statistics. I feel like I bring them up every day.
Real quick.
Wait, we were still here?
Real quick. Can I actually draw a parallel? And I feel like you're going to initially hate it. But I think it's actually an interesting parallel. Because what we're discussing right now is an example. It's a what if hypothetical example of how the technology, specifically here a burn mechanism, can be used for ill will. It can be used in malice, or can be used, some people, especially in the Cool Cats community, might consider that evil, right? The point is that like this tech is just tech, and it can be directed and used in a lot of different ways. And a lot of that is not for good, as we see with like super sophisticated social engineering where they develop whole crazy contracts and websites to basically target you and scam you. The technology is not by nature evil. It's how it's used, right? So the tech can be used for ill will if you want it to. And the parallel I want to draw here is to what Blur's done, because you can argue they're just using the tech. They're just using the open market. They're just doing what's possible. But also they are choosing the incentives and the standards and the behaviors that they are incentivizing. And so you have to at least understand that without them choosing to do things a certain way, things would not be a certain way. So I just wanted to...
That's hypotheticals. Those are all hypotheticals.
But Blur is not a hypothetical.
I know, but that latter comment that you just made is a hypothetical. Things would be different. Would they? We don't know.
If Blur launched,
dude, we don't
with
know.
Different
the NFT market
mechanics.
Could be dead. Look, Hitler.
Yeah, but also we don't know that way. We don't know that way either. I don't buy into the narrative that, like, I've seen a lot of people just trying to say, like, oh, without Blur doing exactly what they're doing, that everything would be way worse. You don't know that, and I don't buy into.
You don't know
just
it
like,
either.
Right, but people are saying it with so much conviction.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
People are saying with so much conviction that, well, if Blur wasn't here doing exactly what they do, everything would be way, way worse than it is. And it's just like, you have no proof of that. There's no way that you can prove that. Why are you so certain that Blur is helping the space right now? So anyway, I'm just pointing out, the tech can be used in whatever ways you want, but you decide how to use it. And Yuga, so far, has not decided to use their power for bad, as far as we know. But who knows? Maybe they, if they were ever really threatened by like a real competitor, maybe they'd do some crazy shit like that. I don't know.
We need like a Blur graphic. Like, I feel like I don't utilize these like, look at the Restream Valentine's Day. Like, come on, Restream, you get it together. We got quick news. I feel like I don't utilize. I need like a Blur, like the thing needs to be on fire whenever Blur comes up.
Yeah, actually, what would be cool if we had the animated of their token drop, because they did a cool, like, that would be cool if we just did that as like an intro outro.
I got you. All right, Nick Swervis is in the house saying burn a M2 serum, get a blank, asking for a friend. What are you talking about there, Nick? What are you talking about there, my friend? Exploit, I was saying NFT Wars, Nox Darkness. That's a great way to put it. NFT Wars. Nox Darkness saying, my only Yuga asset is Ape. I'm bullish on it and let me feel like I'm connected to the Bored Ape ecosystem. Expo saying, any truth to MetaMask snapshots. Here's the thing with the MetaMask snapshots. They have generated a ton of revenue in fees, okay? They are a revenue-producing product, and to the extent of like hundreds of millions of dollars. That being said,
I thought it was billions. Wasn't it like 2.5 bill or something?
I know, because I think they take a certain percentage of the fee based on the volume that's traded.
Oh, maybe it was 250 mil, not maybe.
I think,
don't quote me.
Prodigy, I can't say that last one because I think we'll get shadow banned on YouTube for bringing up. I already said the guy's name once. I can't do it twice, or else they'll shadow ban us completely. Anyways, yeah, the truth to the MetaMask snapshot. One, I don't think it's true. Like, it was super shady the way that like it was kind of portrayed. It was like, we're gonna take a snapshot now, but have the airdrop in 2024. That was like the initial source that came out. The secondly, like, there are so many people that use MetaMask that the chances that you have any sort of legitimate cash from a MetaMask airdrop is so low. Like, where you really get the large amount of airdrops is when you have a hyper-focused community that gets a certain airdrop that is valued. Right? Like, we brought up an M2 serum. M2 serum was an airdrop, but only allocated to 10,000 people. MetaMask is used by everybody in the space. I mean, there must be and not to say everybody, every single wallet, and everybody has like 3 separate wallets. So I just think like I would temper any big MetaMask airdrop. I would really temper those expectations.
Well, so I simultaneously agree and disagree with what you just said. So the first thing is, like, I would lean towards all this snapshot speculation just being a bunch of nonsense. But the other part is that if they were to do a snapshot or if they were to do an airdrop, it's not a matter of like just everybody having a wallet. It's who's most active, right? So like who's doing certain actions and who's most active. That's how the rewards get. It's just like what Blur's doing, right?
Yeah, but
so
the sheer volume of that.
What, they can't track it? It's all on chain. I don't understand the concern.
The concern is the amount that you're probably getting is like $10 in this. Like the amount of people that use MetaMask is 10x the amount of people that use Blur.
Well, but what I'm saying is that like it's a long tail, right? So like there's the top 20% of all MetaMask users use it more than the other 80%, right?
Depending on how they decide they want to do the airdrop too. Like we're talking about a hypothetical airdrop now. They could cap the volume and be like it's activity more than volume.
That's what I would think they'd do. Why would they just do it like even across every MetaMask wallet when most of them aren't even active?
Because you don't want to incentivize giving tokens to just whales, right? Like there's a way to cap. I think they had this with the Uniswap.
So maybe cap it. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Look, all I'm saying with the MetaMask stuff is like there's the amount of people that use MetaMask is in the amount of wallets that touch this stuff on the daily, and maybe we've definitely dropped off, which sucks because like what's up?
Well, isn't it only like between 5,000 to 10,000 wallets right now?
Well, that's the thing. When do they decide? We're down in a hypothetical rabbit hole here with MetaMask, but like, when do they decide they want to do these snapshot? Could it be like everybody's trades from like 2022 or 21 to now?
I hope it's 2021. Jesus, please, if you're out there, MetaMask gods. I don't know. This feels way out there speculation, like nonsense to me.
Yeah, Prado is saying snapshot is fake. I heard so. We'll follow it, but we'll see if there's any substantial source news on that stuff. Swerve is saying my roommate still has an old M2 serum sitting around, and now there isn't shit to do with it. There has to be a way to evolve that. Correct? Was the evolve not in perpetuity?
So that's a really interesting point. If they like discontinued the actual tubes, if the tubes are gone, we were talking about tubes, the Utes tubes today. Yeah. If the tubes are gone, then it's just a collectible.
The Utes if the tubes are gone. Okay, Prodigy is responding to your Blur comment. I mean, to be honest, without Blur doing what they did, if you see it bad or good either way, Web3 would have been almost dead in the NFT space for the past few months. That's the argument. People are saying would NFT trading volume be at historical lows?
Everybody's saying this with so much certainty. And that's what I can't get behind. It's like you're predicting an alternate universe and just saying that you know how that would look.
It's a prediction. Everybody's predicting. That's
but it's the confidence.
You seem to have confidence on the other side of that argument, to be fair.
No, I'm asking the question. I'm confident that like you don't know and that it could be just as easily better. You don't know.
Nick Swerve is saying no, it's not. It's not. The serum. Wow. Hold on. Wow, that sucks.
Dude.
That Wait, there's no way that's true. All right, I need to check. We need to confirm. I need a confirmed source here that serums cannot be evolved at this point. That sucks. NFT statistics. I feel like I brought this tweet up like 15 minutes ago.
That's like worse than burning a CryptoPunk.
Yeah, that's a tough one. NFTs are a vibes game. Not good when things enter the loop of bad vibes. Listen, we had the poopy announcement a while ago, but like 2 weeks ago with Doodles. Holders don't like losing money. They attack the team. Team doesn't like being attacked. So they say things which make people want to sell, and then you have this negative feedback loop for vibes, for bad vibes.
Yeah, it is exactly a negative feedback loop. It's a visualization of what Andy James was talking about that Blur's created. And so this is not specific to Blur. This is to the space writ large.
Bring it all back.
But no,
Blur.
we were talking about negative feedback loops in terms of what Blur has done with their mechanics. Like, I don't want to stick on the Blur thing, so I'll stop.
Okay.
I'll stop bringing it up. But I'm right. That's what we were talking about, negative feedback loops. That's what this is. It's a visualization of a negative feedback loop. But maybe we just want to talk about the dudes. How are the dudes doing? Do we want to look at the floor, or is it too scary?
I think more so the NFT statistics was pointing out like the actual sentiment loop, right? Like the sentiments of the holders when Doodles guy came out and actually said that. Like that's the negative feedback loop that we're telling founders to have more responsibility of, right? Like you can't get to this point where you're trying to say these things like Poopy wanted to do, because it's just going to feed back into that same loop. There's nothing positive that can come out of it. So.
Do we want to look at the dude's floor?
I don't.
All right, we won't.
We can pull. I mean, if you're gonna really force my hand,
I'm not forcing anything over here.
NFT price floor here. I will get into the NFT Go Bagcheck here in just a second, but price floors. Where you at, Doodles? Doodles 3.2 up 1% on 24 hours. Here we go.
Hey,
a
win's a win. A win's a win.
I'll take the dub. Don R saying, just checked an old Cardano wallet with a small amount in it. They changed from a 12 to a 15-word seed phrase without legacy support.
What?
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 Some weird shit happening.
No legacy support for your wallet? What? That can't be real either. Dude. Mainstream adoption coming soon.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this here in just a second. Prado is saying MetaMask tweet about fake snapshot. By the way, that's the 30 days on Doodles. That is unfortunate. 90 days on Doodles. Let's see. 8 ETH in what looks like January.
So you see right there where it says like March 13th, right around that last high. No, up just a little bit. Up just a little bit. Yep, right around there. That's right around where entry? I bought.
Nice. Look, in the grand scheme of things, when all of these things are at 100 ETH again, you'll be fine. You won't be caring about your 5 or 3 ETH entry, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. In 300 years, it's going to look like a brilliant move. As long as there's legacy support.
Look, I am a believer in the dudes long term. I bought a golden doodle for like 10 ETH, so I am there with you. I believe in it.
This is just from I put out a pretty serious, heartfelt thread yesterday on Twitter, and this is just making me think about some of the comments I was getting from some people just being like, TBH, I've lost a lot of hope in all of this.
I love our bear market talks. It's getting awesome. Shout out to you folks that are still grinding. MetaMask it put out a tweet. Thank you, Prado, for this. MetaMask tweeting, there are quite a few false rumors going around about a MetaMask snapshot, airdrop, etc. on March 31st. These rumors are not only false, but they are dangerous. They create opportunities for scammers and phishers. Please be on the lookout for fake sites in the coming days. So we put that to bed. After going on a hypothetical what an airdrop would look like to every wallet in the space, and really breaking down the tokenomics of what we think a MetaMask airdrop would look like, we get the news that they aren't going to do it. So feels good.
To be fair, we also said it was nonsense as we talked about what it would look like.
True. Okay, I have 3 more stories for the quick hits. If you guys have anything before we get to the Legends of Mara and then the top 10 flops in NFT history. Gif, I want to get one take before we get into this Gucci article, because we're getting more information on Gucci's partnership here with the Bored Ape Yacht Club. What comes to mind when I say NFT flop for you right away?
I hate the answer that comes to mind.
Say it. You got to say it. Gun to the head. Metaphorical.
Game of Thrones.
Okay.
It hurts.
Yeah. I think GameStop probably comes to mind. Big for me.
I mean, I think about like things like Coinbase NFT just in general as like a platform, as like a flop. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause that was something that we were really excited about, had huge potential.
Yeah.
trying to think about like other projects that I got super like hyped up about that just didn't go well at all.
Your doodle's going to be worth 100 ETH when milk costs $50 a gallon and we're eating crickets. Expo has a great point. You know, USD. You got to look at that USD value once we get hyperinflation, because you will eventually get to that dollar amount. Pepsi
Yeah.
NFTs.
I'm sure like what I need to do is just go look through my wallet. Yeah. All the things that I try and pretend aren't there. That's what I need to do. Okay. Is just go.
Yeah. I would say Metaverse is up there. I think Metaverse is in my top 3 of how hyped it was. And I think it was like people even have trouble like calling that a flop. They're like, oh, they're still building. But for what it was,
I mean, it had a big ass pump
pre-reveal. It had that big ass pump pre-reveal. It was like launch, people bought a bunch, and then pre-reveal it like had this huge run up to like 9 ETH. But yeah, so again, there were like expectations involved with that drop and all that stuff. But what's up?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot, and a lot of them I don't even want to like talk about because I don't know that it's like, I don't know that's fair to talk about some of these because I don't think they were like rugs or anything. They just didn't do that well.
I will jump off a cliff before a U.S. red-blooded American transitions to the ruble or the yuan. The Expo just said, if the U.S. dollar crashes, do we transition value to the ruble? Our sworn enemies or China are the next upcoming rival. No, I would not like to do that. Okay, GIF, we are going to get to those top 10 flops, so you have time to decide if you really want to call those projects out. In the meantime, quick hits. Gucci to take active role in Bored Ape Yacht Club. So we got this announcement. Gucci actually tweeted out from their main profile that they were going to, there was like some type of collaboration. It showed the what is that? The Otherside drink? What are we calling that at this point? The juice?
Huh?
Come on, GIF. You got to save me on this one. There was the juice that has the Coda on it, but it had the Gucci. You're really gonna?
No idea.
I'm literally drowning here, and you're just like,
oh, yeah. Well, I'm over here looking through my sad bag of failed, not great projects.
All right, here, folks. Here's the picture. This juice from the other side is what I was referring to. So we got this announcement from Gucci. Yeah. Gucci.
It's the potion. It's a potion.
There it
I
is.
Don't know.
Okay, I like potion. Okay,
it's the other side potion.
So I'm looking to get more information here, right? Because it was just like kind of a cryptic tweet, but we got more here from both parties. So let's see. Luxury. Okay, hold on. I had it. Existing in a world where physical and digital realms collide and are shaped by creative storytelling, the first activation of the partnership will give a glimpse of Gucci's participation in the other side, Yuga's gamified meta RPG universe, beginning this week, Gucci said in a press release. So we're just getting more info here. Looks like they're set to take an active role in the metaverse and striking that multi-year strategic partnership that we touched on yesterday. That's the tweet from Gucci. And yeah, luxury has a role to play. There's a real opportunity for us to create digital products that would be ways to express our houses. Chief Client and Digital Officer Gregory Boutte told the outlet. So just more information there. Obviously a quick hit. Any thoughts there, GIF, as you look at the decimated wallet?
Just lots of really sad, depressing thoughts. No, I think like it's great to see them like this is a partnership that they've been developing that has had several moments and beats already. Again, like I wasn't even able to find it yesterday. There was like an original OG Bored Ape Gucci collection, and then they announced the ApeCoin integration into their physical stores. So clearly Gucci is like, while Disney and Meta and Coinbase NFT pack up their bags and, go run and hide from the bears, Gucci is saying full steam ahead. Like, we see the potential of what's happening, especially with Yuga, and we are committed to continuing to build this integration and this relationship. I think it's heckin' cool, man. I think it's great. Gucci is one of the most valuable brands in the world, probably. So, where does that go for ApeCoin? Where does that go for the other side? 10KTF is the other part of this that's really interesting, because that's all very
Yes.
fashion focused. So, if you're a 10KTF fan, or you believe in what they're doing, I would be super interested in this. I'm not that deep into 10KTF, but like, I can tell you that, like, I see 10KTF, Gucci, and a lot of other types of like insane brand collabs coming through that part of the Yuga ecosystem that also feeds into the metaverse. Like, I don't know if it, like, or wait, I know you know this, Q. We should pull these up. The like Louis Vuitton collab in League of Legends.
Yes. Yeah, where they had the avatars essentially wearing with like Louis Vuitton signed stuff, and yeah, where the banners had Louis Vuitton. Yeah.
But it was more than just the digital skins and the digital products. They actually had physicals as well, including, do you remember the case, the trophy case?
Okay, so they were part of the World. Were they part of Worlds?
Yeah.
Or were they part of the LCS split?
I think it was the World Championship trophy was presented in this dope custom Gucci or Louis Vuitton trophy case. So I just mean, it's like, these partnerships are brand building opportunities for both if they're executed well, and they create a lot of attention across, they transcend just Web3 or just fashion or just gaming. It's like all of these different worlds have an interest in these types of collaborations. So that's what I think is really cool here, is that if you start to, think ahead for like, where are all the different ways that like these brands can collide and create really, really awesome equity and like moments and interesting things together, I think it's going to be super exciting. So
yeah, I'm looking up the Louis Vuitton partnership with League of Legends. It looked like there was some cool animated trailers as well. That
dude,
showed,
I
like,
could
the
see
different
that.
characters.
I could see that potion bottle. I could see that as like a cologne or a like, you know what I mean, in a store, and you can only buy it with Ape. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, there's almost endless.
Who's buying that? I see the future, but in the meantime, what females walking into a store and buying cologne with Ape?
It might not be for women, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't know, but like, I'm just saying, there's endless cool ways that they can bring this stuff to life and tell stories, right. Their brand stories. So I don't know, man.
Here's a couple of the other merchandise you were talking about with the Louis Vuitton and League of Legends collab. I wouldn't necessarily buy a lot of this, and Kiana's really not my favorite character, so this guy's kind of a simp. If you're asking me, I would be caught dead in a League of Legends Kiana t-shirt wearing those pants. But again, I'm not the most stylish guy here, to be honest. So, all right, we are going to get into the rest of the quick hits. We basically have like two more. I see some comments as well that I'll get to, but we basically have two more topics. We've been talking Polygon. Zero Knowledge Ethereum Virtual Machine has been launched. You can see here the launch of ZK Syncs Era Arbitrum token and Polygon ZK EVM have sent daily layer 2 gas usage to nearly 18% of the total gas consumed on Ethereum. So you can see in a nice handy dandy chart there, going back all the way to March 2022, with Arbitrum, ZK Syncs, and Polygon's release, we're seeing layer 2s pick up as far as those transactions go on those protocols. So,
I mean, that's a spike. Look at that. That's actually really interesting, right? And I mean, again, who's the Q? We've been sitting here with our friends on the network talking about all the development that's happening, why we're so bullish on Polygon, and like what's going to be going when all of this development starts to come online. When you start to see that's what that looks like. That's, to me, like, yeah, all that development, all the things from Starbucks to Utes to Avagachi to anything else that has been building. A lot of, like, dude, isn't is Ticketmaster on Polygon? I don't know. There's all these companies that have been building on Polygon over the last year that we've been talking about. And we've been saying, look, development takes time, but when this shit comes online, it's gonna move. And that spike, that's really exciting because that's like, hey, everything we've been saying is happening now.
It's a little bit of affirmation there on the usage side.
Yeah, Reddit.
We're talking about layer 2s. Yep.
Reddit's another, right?
Donar is saying I'm not buying anything until they call it Digit Physical. That's fair. And Prodigy.
You lost me, Don. You lost me, Don.
Digits is saying that trophy was trash. I agree. Digits, they made it look dumb as hell, but the collab was a neat idea. I would agree with. Like, I need to see the actual trophy, but I think it was more about the idea of the collaboration as opposed to the trophy itself. So.
It got my attention. Yeah. I looked at it several different times. I put it into several different decks that I was doing at the time for clients to show them like cool collabs. Like it was interesting, you know, and that's part of the value here is that like attention is one of the most valuable things. It's like the oil of our era, right? So you can, whether or not people love the execution, they will be curious enough to click and watch and see what is it. What does this look like when they come together?
Okay, you know? Don's also asking if we can play the Kagion chicken race again. That'll have to be a quarterly thing. We can't turn this network into a Kagion race channel. Although that channel would pop off. I'm certain of it. All right, last thing here. Aavegotchi wearables. 3D Aavegotchi wearables.
Whoa.
Coming to Gotchi Guardians. So we got a little bit of a teaser here from Aavegotchi. Of course, we are some Gotchi holders here. So 3D wearables for the Gotchi gang in Gotchi Guardians.
I just I love the fact that I'm a bigger Gotchi holder than you now, Q.
It's true.
How many does Biggie have?
I cannot confirm or deny how many Biggie has. I know he has some like original Haunt ones though. So
I want to make this a competition.
Okay, Xplow is saying, is Nike Artifact considered a flop? So all of you guys we're making it here to rate my flops.
I would not call Nike Artifact or any of that a flop, but
so everyone's waiting for rate my flops. We will get to it, but before that, we do have this Legends of Mara that we need to school GIF on. GIF hasn't even seen this 2D game that the other. So we had a whole release this weekend about the other side, and now we have a whole full 2D interactive game that has to do with codas, that has other side drops related to it. So it's going to be a little mini Yuga show, and then we will get to rate my flops. So before that, we have the one and I'm setting you up, GIF, and only NFT Go
Bagcheck.
Hell yeah. Let's go. All right, we got the Bagcheck market sentiment. That was probably the best one we've done so far, at least from my point of view.
When I'm ready for it, it's great. You gotta tee it up though. Make sure I'm there. I'm present.
All right, we got our handy dandy barometer here that's sitting at 24. This is still falling, folks. We were at 27 yesterday. 30-day profits and losses still in the losses. You can see the blue chip index is recovering a little bit on both ETH and USD. So we'll start with ETH here. So we're recovering just a tad on the blue chip side and in both ETH and USD, and I think even recovering a little bit against ETH there, which is nice to see.
Dude, there's so much red up at the top. There's so much red.
Yeah, there's
30-day profits and loss.
So I can't wait. I can't wait till I see all that greenery. It's going to be nice. 30 days, we have USD. Here's the total market cap on Ethereum, 22 billion in total market cap, kind of crabbing out over the last 4 or 5 days against USD. Kind of have a pick up here in the last 2 days against Ethereum. So I think that has a lot to do with maybe Ethereum prices falling a little bit, but we will continue to follow that. Over the last 7 days, the volume, it's Wrapped CryptoPunks, Other Deeds, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Apes, Azuki, Pudgy Penguins, Doodles, those pesky Nakamigos still taking that volume. Moonbirds, I don't know. I just thought it looked good. Some of them look pesky. Clone X here with another appearance. I think they're in the top 10 usually. So again, I would echo GIF's sentiment that I don't think they're a flop at this point. Over the last 24 hours, volume has been primarily Other Deeds. This is one thing, again, when we get into this Legends of Mara GIF, you're going to be stoked on this shit. In the storytelling and the lore, like all of the things you've talked about within the other side and the trips, You got to see this stuff because it's going to be dope. Wrapped CryptoPunks, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Apes, Nakamigos, the Devs NFTs here in the last 24. Bored Ape Kennel Club, Pudgies, the Captains, and Heavy Metal. And the sentiment is at 24. Did they read Gift's tweet replies yesterday? So is this barometer based on GiftEd's tweets? Is that what we're starting to understand? Is this a direct line to your Twitter profile, Gift?
Yeah, our partnership with NFT Go is deeper than the Gods Magic Eden partnership. That's all you need to know.
Facts.
Goes deep, runs deep.
Prodigy is saying, "Yo, Bagcheck. If this show goes Joe Rogan, I want royalties." Oh yeah, I guess he did come up with that Bagcheck name all those days ago. Yo, I wish they had a feature where you could take all actions caused by this blur out of the charts. I don't think they do.
No,
it's not
but
wash,
they have
it's not
wash trading. But I think my understanding of where they're at is they're currently trying to update their wash trading algorithm because it's very difficult because it's like there's multiple data points they have to layer in to actually try and identify what's a wash trade and what's not. The simplest way and probably how it's done right now is just if there's something that's like way outside of like the standard deviation of the floor price, they're probably flagging it, but they need to layer in additional context to actually make that data meaningful. Yes. So it's not an easy problem to solve is the point, but they are working on it, and that's what I love to see. So shout out.
Okay, so I don't think we got a handy dandy trailer for this. I think they spent all their marketing money to put the trailer for the other side. But we do have a website here for Legends of Mara. So we have this topic to get to, and then we will get into the top 10 biggest NFT flops in history. And I'm interested in y'all's take on that. So Legends of Mara, we got a poster that essentially had like a really, well, I would call it like a... What's the Uma Thurman movie from back in the day?
Kill Bill, Poison Ivy.
It had that Kill Bill like anime kind of manga-esque storytelling. I can go back and pull up that original poster, but really no information, as is the Yuga, way. So here last night we got a Legends of Mara announcement from the other side, introducing Legends of Mara, a 2D experience with its own companion collection. Claim your vessel, discover its potential, and forge your path. Other deeds with the coda will be able to decouple in advance of the game launch. You can go into the website, and TLDR here, what's happening is codas are essentially getting a little bit of utility. So land with codas is going to get a little bit crazier when it comes to the floor price.
So clearly the codas are the aliens coming, like the asteroids. That's a coda.
What you'll see here, they'll explain it. They're just getting to that explanation in the lore. So with the change in the season, shades find their vessels. A crop of new Mara interrupts into the other side. The Mara are important, right? The vessels descend. The vessel shower is sacred to the codas. One vessel will fall upon every other deed in existence. Shades find vessels. During the shower, the glowing obelisk wakes the shades. These spirits glide across the landscape, each one claiming a vessel for shelter. Some vessels are more hospitable than others. Those that reject their shelter seekers and rupture can become corrupted. Handle them with extreme caution. I think this has to do with like the activity, because I think everybody's going to get something dropped on the other side land, but again, making sure that people participate, I think, and they'll incentivize that participation. All right, so here's where it gets interesting, because each of these vessels essentially turns into what is called, I believe, Coda Mara. So 3 types of vessels are hospitable to shades: enchanters, farmers, and hunters. The Mara hatch, and then here we go. So a Mara's abilities derived from its vessel type. So you see enchanters have grants buffs and bonuses. Farmers harvest fragments from other deeds, and hunter vessels fend off violent threats to other deeds. So right there, these two interest me, right? So you're farming resources with the farmer, and you're defending what they're saying are going to be attackers to other deeds. Mara's evolution is tied to a celestial coordinate system. seasonal catalysts. You essentially have like evolutions that will take place. So we're getting into this complexity chasm, Gift Ed, in multiple ways with the Legends of Mara here. Sediment fragments which can be fed to Mara are derived from an other deed's sediment. Genesis codas and Farmer Mara can be attached to the other deeds to harvest this. A coda Mara's traits are affected by the fragment and ingested as a Mara. Any questions up to this point?
I'm gonna have to like read through this multiple times because there's so much to it, but like man,
I should have got a coda.
TLDR. Yeah, I don't want to be like simping hard for Yuga, but dude, they literally just did a highly complicated, successful product demo of the Otherside second trip, and they're immediately rolling out this incredibly. I mean, look at the quality in just the website. Like, look how deep the art is, all the different moving parts. How, like, dude, this is beautiful. New collections coming as part of this, new parts of the story and the lore to be discovered that are all interactive, has a whole new game part of it. Like, you're learning more about the other deeds and about the codas through this.
Yep. That part really interests me. So I knew this was going to be exciting for you. The other thing is like ApeCoin price actually reacted positively to this drop because it wasn't announced. I feel like, although we did get that again poster, but no, there was no date, I don't think, about the Legends of Mara. So they just dropped this, and ApeCoin, while the rest of the market kind of fell, did some positive things over the night. But here, so Harry Liu, this guy, he's from Animoca Brands. He's growth at Animoca there. He kind of broke this down. So he did it like in simplistic terms. So I'll kind of see if I can pull anything from here. So obviously the other deed holders are getting now another drop of value here in vessels. Any other deed holder can participate. Each Voyager will be able to claim a vessel NFT for each other deed owned. After the claim, to play, you will need at least one other deed in addition to a coda or an apprentice Mara. A vessel, and you can see that was basically what premiered in the trailer. Essentially, the large asteroids were these vessels. Each other deed holder will have the ability to claim a vessel during the claim period. Each vessel will have one of three functions assigned: hunting, farming, or enchanting. This is important, right?
I got three other deeds. I hope I get one of each. I'll say that.
What the fuck is a Mara? A Mara is an otherworldly creature that emerges from the vessel. They are nascent workers able to perform only simple tasks. The three different types of Mara that will emerge from the vessels will match their vessel's role. Let me read that again. The three different types of Mara will match their vessel's role. So basically, again, three types. He's just kind of repeating that.
Well, I think this is just the like mint mechanic, right? So you get a vessel. And those hatch into a Mara.
Oh,
so
see, this is the simple ass plays. These are the simple ass plays that, looking back, what we've talked about this with Polygon, we've talked about this with potentially ApeCoin, we talked about some other projects, Moonbird's Doodles, all at these levels. This is a great example of this. Like, there were all of these signs that codas were going to be important. And look at what he says here. Codas are the primary keepers of the other side. They have the natural ability to hunt, enchant, and farm at a far greater power level than a Mara or a coda Mara. So, full stop. Codas are going to actually like be producing some type of revenue. I wouldn't say revenue generating, but resource generating activity there. So that's one that looks. Go ahead.
And aren't those things pretty tightly linked when you're talking about a crypto native, blockchain native metaverse, right? So resources that are on a blockchain equals some kind of potential revenue.
Yeah, it does. They have to be careful with that, but it could potentially mean that. Yeah, a coda can be assigned to another deed to perform any of these functions, all three or one at a time. If assigned to be hunters, codas with weapons and mega codas will see their traits employed in battle. Oh my God. Oh man, I need a coda. Legend of Tomorrow will be driven by the Celestial Odiac and is a persistent 2D experience. Persistent 2D experience. That's important. That means that will be in basically a never, almost like an MMO like feel. That's what I get from that. Persistent meaning it's always going to be a live server. That will allow you to evolve your Mara into Coda Mara, farm sediment, and defend your other deed from emerging threats. More stories discovered.
Sounds like legacy support.
Yeah,
wouldn't they?
Sounds like the offer legacy support. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which is hopeful. I mean, good. Again, we're already here planning out our like 300-year plans and trajectories for our collections.
It's just super.
So, yeah, that legacy support is going to be key for these bags 300 years from now. But I'm still thinking about the fact that if the serums are basically worthless, this is all really cool, man. And again, like there's been so much speculation, so many questions, and to see the way that they're rolling this out. So again, it's the execution is just absolutely amazing. And it doesn't seem like okay, when the other deeds dropped and they did it all at the same time and they burned all that money, that was a bad execution. Other than that, across all the different things that they've done, like it's hard for me to think where they've gone wrong. I mean, you were upset. Okay. Recently with the tiers, that was like questionable. That was a tough one.
The sewer passes. Yeah.
The sewer pass tiers. That was questionable. But the quality of the storytelling, at least, is just freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like tokenomics are hard. Minting is hard. There's things that are kind of out of your control sometimes with some of that. So, I'm trying to give them a little bit of grace maybe, but like, dude, the storytelling and the way that they've rolled out these different aspects, the different parts of the stories, the different character arcs, or like the different mechanics is just phenomenal.
It really is. It really is. And we see a response in the floor prices on the other deeds right now. So this is over the last 7 days. You can see literally today, you can see that floor price moving up. A lot of activity there. People speculating on which sediment that basically which other deed they want. And then
those are coda sales.
Yep,
yeah.
These are the coda sales up here. Yep. So the coda sale, the lowest coda sale was 12, but it looks like an average of like 14, which I don't know what the coda sales were. Let's like even zoom out, see when the last coda sale was. I'm assuming.
I think they've been around that like, I think they've been around that like 13, 14 mark for a little while.
Man, well, you know what really grinds my gears? The collections that have multiple traits in them. This shit pisses me off so much. I can't even look. I can't even look at the 12 ETH. I don't know what the floor is on here, so that's unfortunate. But not sure.
Go back. Try going back and turning off the wash trading filter. Oh, and turn on outliers.
Okay, so
look at that.
Let's zoom down here.
There you go. NFT Go's got it. You just gotta know where to look.
Can this move down? I'm so confused. You know what? My computer's like being destroyed. I would love to know what the other deeds moved into. Like specifically the codas, I think were being sold for like 12. It was like 10 to 11 ETH. And then people were assuming like, hey, right now, and here I'll throw this out to you. And the Easy in Crypto, yes, you should have picked up that deed a while back. Another one that seems a little bit less of a home run call because you don't know exactly the value at 100,000 supply. But maybe if you get a dope other deed that apparently has the traits, we'll know. But the codas seem like a dub. Like that was so easy to call.
Yeah, I mean that's a crazy thing about this too. Like what we're watching with this price action is the supply on this is huge.
Yeah,
and they've got a lot of assets just in the Bored Apes ecosystem. Not even like all the other Yuga assets that are doing really well right now.
Yeah,
to be supporting this kind of floor, and then seeing this level of positive action, dude, they're fucking killing it, man.
This Legend of Tomorrow definitely highlights it though, because again, like you said, the Otherside drop or the Otherside second trip was this weekend, and then they right afterwards, 2 days, 3 days, they come out with this big release on Mara.
And dude, again, like my humble opinion of how the second trip went, it was that it was a big success. And like, there's so many things that can go wrong with these types of tech demos, and overall, it was flawless from my experience. Like yeah, I know some people had some kind of tech issues. Like a lot of that was probably user error or their machines couldn't keep up. But like I played it on a freaking laptop and it was smooth as heck. So I don't know, man. Just understanding how tough this is. They had 7,200 people in there.
It's dope to see them have like one back-to-back dubs, right? Like the sewer passes was definitely a dub, I thought, but it was kind of a 50-50 split, in my opinion, on the sentiment. People were like, it was a bad game, like nothing was there, and like it cost so much money to participate. This just seems like 2 dubs back-to-back.
I see it as back to back to back to back because like I'm like ape staking, Dookie Dash, sewer passes, second trip, Gucci, multi-year partnership, and now another game right on the heels of all of this. Just getting like,
yeah. I'm interested in the persistent aspect too. We've seen some alluviums come out and have like farming with alluvium 0, so they have some persistent aspects of that, and we will be following Legends of Tomorrow release definitely. But Prodigy saying gonna be 2 hours in before you start rate my flop. Get him, Jacob. No, we are here. We are here. We're at the end of the Yuga Labs show, at least for that particular segment. I think again, really cool update there, and the community seems to be reacting favorably. But we hit a lot of topics today, but none more important than right now. Rate my flops. This is a collaboration between myself, Gifted, and you there sitting at home to rate the top 10 biggest flops in NFT history. It's hard to undersell how important this is to our industry as a whole, Gifted. Like putting together this list is unbelievably important for the longevity of this space.
Some would call it critical. I at least call it historic.
It really is.
Yeah. So without you there watching, participating in the chat, it just wouldn't even happen. It couldn't happen without you. So
it really
salute.
can't, because we have nothing ready. Like usually we have like logos. I'm gonna need.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I've got a couple like the tough part is like going through my wallet and seeing how many different like friends and like people in the space that I know have launched projects that have had issues. Like something like a Super Shiba, which is, recently bought and might be coming back from the dead, right? Like I love Super Shiba, I love Susie, but like that was a tough one because I bought a bunch of those, supporting the homies, loving the art, and then her devs basically rugged her own project, so that kind of flopped. But I don't think that was like necessarily one of the biggest flops of all time or something like that. So I don't think I'd put Super Shibas up there. I mean, the one that have a certain size for sure. The one that's like big enough to me that like immediately comes to mind is Pixelmon. I mean, that was like that was such a massive like 70 mil raised. They promoted this amazing final product of a game. And then Kevin happened. It was like, that to me is a flop. You know what I mean? Like the way that just happened was like a freaking belly flop when Kevin hit the scene. And then, Game of Thrones.
Oh,
I feel like
what didn't CNN's kind of a flop. Right? Didn't CNN come out with like a bunch of flair and was like
Nat Geo too? Then I mean, we could probably go through a bunch of the different Web2 brands that like tried to come in, dude. Like we talked about what happened with Nat Geo. That's where I tried to coin the term "snow crashed," snow crashed or whatever.
Those guys are probably out of business. Invisible Friends, Mechas. So we already got the Metaverse, 888 Inner Circle. So XPlow, Squashman, Easy, and Crypto giving 3 there. Should do any of those belong on top 10s?
888 Inner Circle, I wasn't part of and I wasn't close to, but definitely had a big ripple effect. Like I remember that was a big shocker. There was a lot of people that were really all about 888, and so that one I think is worth considering or looking more at. I'm not super familiar with the details of what happened, but I remember when people were like, it rugged, something happened, and there was definitely a lot of sentiment, a lot of movement around the 888 moment. There was another one that I just had. Dude, you know what? It's going to hurt me to say this one.
Oh God.
There's so many that are going to hurt to say.
Well, you got to think about size here. This is like a full, it has to be a large scale failure. But what do you got? What do you got?
Let me see. I'm gonna look at this one.
All right, folks.
I'm not sure if it's like a full flop, because I mean it still got it has a floor of like 0.07 right now.
It's yeah. Okay, so here's what
I'll say the one that I was gonna say, because I was super amped up. I think a lot of people were super excited about it, and it definitely had an initial sort of like pump and then just kind of like died really, really quickly right after. And that's G-Vols. So like I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Kid 8. I love the art. I collected some of these at the top, and so that's why this one hurts. Cause like, again, I don't know if this is like one of the biggest flops, but like it definitely didn't do as well as I think a lot of people were expecting. And then the other one,
so GIF, right off the bat, we're getting a question like, what are we calling a flop? And it happens every time we do Rate My Bags. But like, I think we have to like at least put out a small snippet of what we're expecting here. My idea on the top 10, it has to be a large scale project. First of all, like, what are we calling a flop? It can't be like
huge.
We know a lot of flops. Okay, we know there have been a ton of which we have probably backholded a ton. But it has to be a large scale failure in the industry. That's the biggest thing. So all of these, I think, are part of that requirement. What's another requirement to make the list, you think, other than being large scale?
I think a lot of it has to do with the expectations that are set, and they go really high. To your point, it's like you get a scale of interest in the space, a bunch of money, a bunch of speculation. So you get this expectation that's like way, way, way up here. And then there's this moment of like reality. It's like, so again, it's like when I think of a flop, it's literally like jumping off of a giant, high dive and just doing a belly flop. So it's like, you set this bar of expectation. You've got everybody buying into your idea, and all the money's moving. There's all this like hype, and then something happens, or there's a reveal, like the Kevin moment, and it all crashes down in a giant freaking face plant. So that's what I think of. I mean, Porsche, like I don't know that had the level of hype as some other things, but
I don't. Yeah. I mean, we could add Porsche, but I don't think it makes the top 10. NBA Top Shot is one that came to mind, and that is right on the edge for me of being a flop. When it comes to where they're at today, as opposed to the expectations that we had when it was at its height, that's a tough one for me to add to this though, because it's tough to say it's a flop, but it's right on that fucking edge for me.
I'm trying to share my screen here. Did you hear about this one? Because this one had quite a bit of hype, and then I feel like just really didn't go anywhere.
Fiat Lux? No, I haven't heard of it.
Fiat Lux. Yeah. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is like a top flop, but like this one was like pretty cool, and then just doesn't really seem to have gone anywhere.
I feel like I've been a defender of the sandbox for a while, but I think some people would put sandboxes as a flop from 2-3 years ago when they first bought in.
There's probably a couple that you could probably say the same for a couple metaverses, but I feel like that's the biggest metaverse that has had the most attention and support for the longest. That has been, I think you're right, had like pretty high expectations across the board from brands, from people in the space speculating. And then like we were just doing the St. Patty's Day coverage, and it was like people were writing, like somebody went as like a reporter and was like, dude, it was sad, nobody was there. Like that kind of that feels a little bit like a flop.
They're still actively, like very, very actively involved in the building of that project, which is where I'll kind of draw the line. I don't think Sandbox, I kind of brought it up, but I didn't want to add them to the list. Because again,
they might deserve to be. Yeah, I mean, they are still active. It's not like they've thrown in the towel or anything.
Yetis. Squash.
Yetis were definitely a flop, and I think they should go on every list that's ever made.
Even the cereal list.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that we should add in Yetis, so I'm glad Squash Man went there too. Brilliant minds think alike, Squash Man. So yeah, Yetis deserve to be on any and every list.
Okay, so right now, and again, this was a top 10 list gift. So right now we have GameStop NFT Marketplace, Coinbase NFT Marketplace, Pixelmon Kevin, Mechaverse, Game of Thrones, Jeevils, and Super Yeti. So I definitely want to get to the point where we're like rating the top of each of these when it comes to like number 1, 2, 3. But right now that's our group. Here's another one. How about if we're having a large kind of broad brush with what we're painting a flop as? How about the NFT ad in the Super Bowl? Do you think that was a flop? I know that's not it is a project, but I'm specifically the ad.
They sold out, definitely. And there's been a ton of volume, and I've got a bunch of those. Like, I don't think they flopped. I think that was a massive win for the founder and his Twitter account. I just think the execution wasn't as good as it could be.
Okay. Dude, Prodigy keeps coming up with this shit. This is not the definition of a flop. If something goes from 4 ETH to 105 ETH and back, it's not a flop. I don't know where that's coming out.
First of all, like literally by that logic, you just go look at OpenSea and choose a project, and everything's a flop right now. So
yes, we could just add the whole NFT space to this.
Yeah, the whole NFT space. Just Jesus Christ.
There's some legitimate B20? Reasons.
I don't know.
B20 was like a social token that encapsulated, I think, like all. Like, oh man, what was B20? Oh, it had something to do with Whale Shark as well.
Oh, you know what might have been a big flop at this point?
Oh man, B20 doesn't even have a website anymore. Flop is not, you're using like a drop in price as synonymous with a flop. Please stop, sir.
Yeah. What was the one by Thank You X that recently, like, they basically were just like, meh, we're not supporting it, even though we told you we were going to do all these things. Like Frenzies or something?
I don't remember. I do not remember. Did Squashman come in here with who came in here with the Doodles comment? Oh, Don R says Doodles is sadness, but it's not an NFT project. So we can't add Doodles to this list even if we wanted to, because they're not an NFT project. Great point. Goblin Town.
Frenzies. Goblin Town wasn't a flop. I don't do that. That totally changed the whole meta of the space for like almost a year.
Akutars?
Oh, dude.
I would say Akutars was the one where the contract was fucked, right?
Yeah, they like lost millions and millions of dollars. Like it was not like a small millions. It was like tens of millions of dollars or something locked into.
GIF,
dude. This I think this one might be worth considering here. This one might be in the running. This Frenzies, because that one. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, okay. I'll bring up frenzies. Here's a controversial one that I'll throw out here because I feel like I'm using the NFT Super Bowl ad. Like these are almost moments in time that I'm using. Maybe I'm painting
Yeah.
too broad a brush, but the Other Deeds mint was a colossal flop.
Uh,
Wasn't
I
the
see.
mint
I don't
itself?
see that as a flop because people were upset about the gas fees, but they were very excited about the art and the volume in the secondary shows all that, right? And then look at where it's at now with 100,000 supply. I don't see that as a flop at all. I see that as a painful moment that they were so like the quality of what they were building and was so valuable and interesting that they survived it just fine. Like
The
most
drop was a
projects.
flop, though. The drop was a flop. You have
Okay,
to say like,
but what are you going to put on there? You're going to put Other Deeds on that list next to some of these other projects?
yeah,
I
you,
don't think it fits.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
so
Okay, so
so
what's
this one
frenzies?
though, this one had like a really high mint price. It was something like 2 or 3 ETH or one and a half ETH. It was some crazy mint price. Yeah, look at that. Like it was some crazy mint price, and they promised a game. They promised a bunch of different stuff, and then just didn't deliver on any of it. And recently just said, yeah, we're not going to support any of it. So this one is like a big artist, had a lot of big people behind it, had a ton of fanfare, was definitely a big moment in the space. Again, people literally paid through the nose to get these things, expecting them to deliver on a
Oof.
roadmap that they just, yeah.
Oh,
So
frenzies! It was a
that,
Dutch auction from 3.33 ETH.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, this was the one where they came out and like removed their Twitter and everything, right?
Yeah, and
That
then
one.
like tried to create it
Oh,
again or something. Yeah, it's not good.
damn. Prodigy just came out with a real one. It just put wax in general. Damn. That actually isn't that far off base.
Yeah, but I think this one qualifies because it
Yeah,
was pretty high
100%.
profile. Like this artist is really high profile, and it had the Faroks and all those people shilling it. So that was a pretty high profile one.
Does Jeebles belong on this list? I'm looking more at this like
I don't know. Again, I love G Balls. I'm still hodling because I can't. I don't really have a choice, but like I would love to keep them in my wallet. Like I actually like the art. I love Kid 8. I love the artist. Um, I think a lot of people just had higher hopes for it. And I don't know that with him, maybe it doesn't qualify because I don't know that there was this moment. I don't think there was like a flop moment. You know what I mean? I think it just kind of like had an initial run and the secondary just kind of died. And then for whatever reasons, just didn't take off the way that a lot of people had hoped from there. So I can see that one either way. I think the reason was why I think it does qualify is because, again, it's a pretty high profile artist that got a lot of attention, had a lot of hype at the time.
yeah.
So
What
I'm kind of in between.
Yeah, XPOW is saying, do we have to be ETH chain specific? No, definitely not. What about all the big names on wax like MLB baseball? I would agree with that. So I didn't see that comment before Prodigies. The other comment, it doesn't
Ooh,
have to
Ninja
be
Turtles.
like here's a great example. Jeevils didn't flop out of the gate, quote unquote. So it
No.
doesn't have to
Yeah.
flop out the gate. It just the expectations maybe are outsized for whatever reason and then they don't live up to those or they like completely just like rug over time like a soft rug. Frankie Nine's latest project, oh the 2D
Turtles.
ones.
Turtles.
No, what was the
What's it called?
2D atom bombs?
Oh, yo.
The 2D atom
Batum
bomb.
Batum bombs? No, that's 3D. The 3D Batum bombs.
Yes,
That to
great
me
one.
was a flop because we had high
Oh
hopes and
my god,
expectations.
I forgot about these.
Dude, we had high expectations for the Batums, and
Oh
they were not good. They're just not good. It's painful to even look at
dude,
for me.
that bandana is
The
so
bandana is so bad. Like the
oh
shading and the shadows and
oh
the way it doesn't really fully mesh and just the inconsistency across like the 2D to the 3D. There's just so many things that made that Yes, I definitely think bad
Here's
on bombs.
I don't know if you ever got involved with this, but Buffalo. I've pitched Buffalo a fair amount of flops. Okay, so before I do that, I wanna put the disclaimer in there. But one that he was really
You know what?
stoked on.
That's big of you. That's big
Thank
of you,
you.
sir.
Well, we've got Pixelmon in there. We've got Kevin from Pixelmon in there. Here's one. I don't know if you're involved in this GIF or were, but a Sup Ducks.
I don't see that as a flop. When was the moment that flopped? I think that was just one that got a lot of hype, did really really well, and it didn't really sustain that hype. But again, to me, if you're putting subducts on here, you can literally put almost every project on OpenSea. That's like how I feel.
I think they had an issue with they had some like gutter cat gang issues where they launched more like supply. Oh, no, don't even, no.
I mean, look, maybe not gutter cats were very successful and spawned everything else in that ecosystem. So not gutter cats, but maybe like
the dogs and the pigeons and the clones.
No, the clones were the clones a flop? Were they? I don't know. Was that part of what ended up hurting them when they didn't do a good job rolling those out?
Yeah.
Just oversupplied.
Well, market? I think Swerve brings this up a bunch. Like they tried to use that as a deflationary tool. In whatever I know that seems a little bit complicated, but what they did was launch that project to try to get down the actual collection supply. So, yeah. I don't know. I can't do it just because I'm afraid for my life from the gang coming at me.
And you were just repping the hoodie yesterday, so it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. So I think we do have 10 up here, but I don't know. I feel like we should maybe finish this up tomorrow. We have Fun Uncle as well on the episode tomorrow, by the way. Fun Uncle is coming through. I almost said the Nifty Castle because that's how you say it every time. They're coming through the Nifty Castle, but Fun Uncle is sitting down in the NFT Live studio.
Coming to hang at the castle in the NFT Live studio.
That woman Expo has a great one. The project that was apparently headed up by women, but ended up being a bunch of Russian dudes.
That's Lady Fame Squad.
Is that a flop?
Yeah, that was a big flop moment. Like they've kind of rebuilt that one, brought it back from the dead.
Did they sell it off?
A lot of people they basically gave it to women in the community and they said, you know what, y'all take it. And so it's been built back up, but I do think that had a flop moment. That was a big moment. So I could see that qualifying.
Oh, so now you're
like that was like I remember these crazy moments, and I remember that crazy moment when people sort of like it was put out there that, hey, I think the people behind this are not actually what they say that they are. I don't think this is a women-run project at all. I don't think they are. I think it's just some crazy Russian dudes. And also, here's all the other fucking projects that they've been running that are all like really fucked up, like targeting BIPOC, targeting all these different communities, saying that, you know, like saying that they're representing these people, but it was all just these fucking Russian trolls, dude. I remember that.
They did multiple different projects. Yeah.
Oh, there was a whole list of them, dude. Yeah. And they were all like, it was pretty gross what they were up to.
I feel like we're missing something here. OpenSea's Launchpad is another one. I feel like that's been a pretty big flop. Like anything OpenSea does is going to be obviously like heavily scrutinized, but their Launchpad has really not been that good.
What was your roosters? What was?
Oh my god, the little peckers! Oh my god, bro, where's the little peckers at, bro?
Will Peckers didn't sell out on OpenSea, and Q was so excited.
I was.
Can somebody roll the tape? Can
Dude,
somebody
pull
that
last
tape?
Tweet is from March 13th. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, Lil Peckers. Oh man, that is not good. We got a little Pecker down. Nice nips though.
The chickens have nipples? What? That is so unnecessary. That is like gratuitous nips here.
Speaking of gratuitous, that brought it up. Art Gobblers. Art Gobblers was a huge fucking flop.
That one had a ton of hype, and people were buying that at fucking 22, 20, 23 ETH, and it like almost immediately just crashed. There was so much fucking wash trading on that shit. It's crazy.
No, that was coordinated. That was so coordinated. I got this shit. I got this piece of shit project. Chicken Derby. Oh man, don't bring it up. FTX. I don't think we could call FTX an NFT project, but FTX did have a marketplace. I don't think it's going to be in the top 10. How about, okay, so we're missing some big brands here. We're missing like Pepsi NFTs. I think Budweiser did okay with their release, but like Pepsi NFTs, there were a couple others, like some Stoner Cats. What the fuck ever happened to Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis's NFT project?
I don't think that was a flop either. They just got like fudded to death, and I don't really think it was fair because I think that they are actually like legit people who care about the space.
So they're building still?
I think so. Dude, yeah, art gobblers down to 0.6.
Oh my god.
0.6. I mean, dude, that chart is that's a hard chart to look at, man.
Dude, imagine buying art gobblers at 22 ETH, just like convincing yourself that you were getting fair value.
Dude, people are
22 ETH. It just launched. Oh.
People are accepting half ETH sales right now on their art gobblers. And how many of those people bought in for over 10 ETH? How many of those people bought in for 20 ETH?
That's a mad community. That's the vibe loop. The negative vibe loop is probably heavy in that community.
Yeah.
Squashman saying hate Prime. Also, Prodigy is saying Mila Kunis is still making her Stoner Cat show. So
and part of what, like, how you know that things are just propped up and inorganic and just like great comments. Yo, shout out the chat. Dude, the absolute legends that we have showing up to hang out with us and participate and make this show great every single day. You know, could not do it without y'all. And seriously, this chat is lit. But it's like one of the signs of something being totally propped up, inorganic, being pumped, being like just not real at all, is when they like, you have these projects that are just these rocket ships that like they show up and within a week or two they have taken over the entire space. They've got all these followers. Everybody like all of a sudden is like, this is the biggest fucking project in the world. And they have this giant pump. And then within just the matter of 1 week span, nobody's talking about it. Like, they're like, dude, when has anybody been talking about art gobblers? Have you had a single convo? I've been out at conferences. We've been online. I've been in all the channels, all the chats that we're doing all the time.
Channels?
I just mean, like, you know, I'm on fucking Twitter. I'm in Discords. I'm in fucking Telegrams. I have not seen a single person talk, like, even utter the term art gobbler.
Even utter the term.
Yeah, I just, where is it? Where's the real art gobbler community? There was never a real community. That's what I'm saying, right? Dude, when things come and just get all this fucking hype and attention, and then literally within a week or two, nobody's talking about it. That's ridiculous.
All right, I'm looking at NFT price work. I mean, Gutter Cat Gang being at 122 is, I mean, we're sitting out there. Yeah, we're sitting there at the edge. We're just waiting.
We're just waiting for Gutter Dan to come out with his poopy impression.
His poopy tweet. Loot was a pretty big flop, I think. Loot had all of these different influencers, all these different people. When it launched, it was going to be this huge, like, what was it called? Emergent storytelling. It was the idea that you could like have an NFT that basically had items attached to it, and then people would build different projects off those items. And Loot, I don't know what. Let's.
I feel like that had a moment. Like, I feel like that had a while though. Like, was there a specific moment that flopped though? or did it just kind of like trail off?
Well, that's
'Cause
what
there
I mean.
wasn't
Like,
enough support?
nobody ever built anything. I don't think substantial on Loot. So it looks like it launched in 2021 at 5 ETH.
Okay, here's an argument for why Gutter Cat Gang
Oh God.
might deserve to be on here. That's the token launch, because that to me is a legit moment. That's a big flop to me, because I literally bought back into that project because they announced that they were going to be doing a token.
Yeah, you're right. Marty
And
plus
then
Cock Punch.
I think it's too early on Cock Punch. I think he's creating stuff. I think it's a little bit early to call that. Like, I don't think there's been a specific moment with Cock Punch, although trust me, I thought about it. I thought, like, does Cock Punch go on this list?
Hey, trust me.
I think you need a little bit more perspective, and to give people a little bit more time than that to see. I think Art Gobblers, we've had enough time to see that, like, that kind of just was like here and gone, and like nobody's talking about it. And the way that they rolled out was heavily inorganic, and I don't know. So I feel like we've had a little bit more time on Art Gobblers. I want to give Tim Ferriss a little bit more time to see, what he does, because he also didn't just like abandon, or there wasn't like a thing that he did that was like a face plant. I think it's just,
it's just Tim Ferriss hype. Yeah.
Right. Well, and it's also a bear market, and again, everything's down. So unless there's like a specific moment, the thing that I can point to with Gutter Cat Gang is the token, and that to me is kind of a little bit of a face plant.
So Squashman saying Oni had a drawn out flop despite the impending comeback and change of ownership. Prodigy saying I agree with Squash. Here's Xbox saying Dallas Cowboys. Definitely, I'd agree with you. Even as a Cowboy fan, I agree that that's an NFL flop for sure. Here's the two of the saddest projects that I won't call them flops. They're not flops, but just like it's sad to see them at these levels is Avastars and Hash Masks. Like two just like legit NFT provenance up the wazoo with these two projects. Like there were I think they were one of the first ones to do the bonding curve release. There was the first name change that you could do with an NFT with the NCT token with hash masks. The art behind it, there were like hundreds of artists, or like maybe hundreds is too broad. I don't remember the exact narrative. But dude, hash masks and Avastars should be way more legit. And here's another one, Crypto Kitties. That's kind of a flop. I bought that shit in 2017. That shit is worthless now.
But that's not I don't feel like that was a flop. I feel like that was just the market moving. It does feel like a flop to me right now, even though it's still pretty early. But just the way that it was hyped up. Doodles too.
Oh. Okay. All right, look, we're almost at 2 hours, so we are going to have to get out of this episode. So I think we follow up tomorrow or Thursday, depending. I don't know if Ronan said he could potentially get on a Thursday episode. I think it would be fun to do this with him. But being able to finish that up would be legit, because I definitely want to rank them. Sorry for our rug on this episode. We didn't rank the top 10. We just gave you about 11. So let's go through that real quick before we get up out of here. So we had Art Gobblers, Fame Lady Squad, or was it Fame Lady Squad? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Batum Bomb Squad, Frenzies, Super Yetis, Akutars, Jeevils, GameStop NFT, Pixelmon Kevin, Coinbase NFT Marketplace, Metaverse, and Game of Thrones. Did we really severely miss the mark? That's what I would say. On any of these guys, did we severely miss the mark? We're not ranking them yet, but out of those 11, did we really miss anything here? So Marty McFly saying Hashmask was a cash grab and a non. Jimmy hasn't cared about Avastars for a minute and is sort of a Yuga simp. He dropped Avastars for apes, basically. And he wants a Fig Newton too. Okay, let us know what Deadfell is definitely not a drop. Come on.
What? Well, to the people that have been asking what I'm eating, first of all, appreciate your concern, fam. It's actually condensed oil because I am a robot. It keeps my innards lubricated sufficiently so I don't just break down midstream. So yeah, it's not a Fig Newton. It's actually just condensed, literally like oil to make me function at this high caliber, this high frequency that I'm functioning at during the shows.
Your frequency was very appreciated today, Gifted.
Hey, back
anyways,
at you.
Marty McFly saying, "Hey, easy. I still love Avastars scrolling, but I haven't seen Jimmy so much for Avastars in more than a year." He said there's actually an update. Avastars is about to get VRM avatars. So Easy and Crypto saying we got an Avastars update. That's something I didn't think I'd say today. Otherwise, guys, we are going to get out of here. We will be back tomorrow again with Fun Uncle here in the NFT Live studio. We're doing GM Web3 in the morning, of course, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard on the Web3 Twitter. And what's happening?
There is an Avastars update? Or wait, is that a joke?
No, Easy saying there's an Avastars update.
Oh, shit. All right. Maybe we cover that tomorrow.
Easy. Why don't you come on to NFT Live here?
Yeah, get a good camera and some internet connection. Let's do this thing, Easy.
Come on, Easy.
We appreciate you.
Make it happen. All right, we appreciate you guys. Our Vibe, our tribe, Gift Ed, take us out. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in today, all the way through. Leave a like. We will rank those tomorrow and see if we can't get to the bottom of what is the number one flop of all time.
Is it number 1 or is it number 10? What's the worst? How does this ranking system work? What does S mean for flops?
Top 5. In the top 5 for me at this point is going to be your monologue on today's Web3.
Oh, it hurts. Yep. The greatest monologue that ever happened that will never be heard. That did transpire. And you know what? Tomorrow morning, we'll be back on Twitter with GM Web3. This has been an excellent NFT Live. I cannot say how much fun I have with you, Q, and with all of y'all out there hanging out, watching in, participating in the chat. Even your puppy is like trying to get in the final word here, and we appreciate that also. Smash the like if you haven't already. Share out the show with some cool friends who need some positivity, who need the news, but also want to know that the world is not all just darkness and anger and toxicity online. No, we're bringing the positivity back, Q. We're bringing sexy back. Folks. We're bringing positivity back. We're bringing optimism back. And that's what we're doing here Monday through Thursday. And we could not do it without y'all. So our Vibe, our tribe. We'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate you.
Peace.